Hello, friends. I am Michael Kingswood. I write fiction for fun and profit, and I am an exceptionally bad Star Trek fan who never watched more than the first few episodes of Voyager. And I'm fixing that now, and I'm sharing my thoughts about the series with you. And we are currently up to season 1, episode 10, which is called State of Flux. And we're just going to go through it here. I'm going to talk through a synopsis of the episode, and then give my thoughts on various things. Analyze, criticize, have fun, whatever. Not showing any video because I don't want to deal with the editing, and it's not what this is about. And if you think that sounds like fun, stick around. If you don't, stick around anyway. And we'll continue on from there. The last several episodes have been boom, 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 boom. Having fun with all of them. And this one I had a bunch of fun with too. A little disappointed in a couple of things plot-wise, in terms of what happened. But overall, I dug it. Sort of well, I'm disappointed what happened, but also disappointed. Well, I'll talk about the mechanics of how they did it and a couple things. It's like, could have been better. And that's the whole reason I'm doing this. So anyway, we open up, and hey, it's good to see Lieutenant Carey again. Always good to see that dude. He was a jerk on the first time we saw him, but he's been cool the last several times. That's good. That good thing he didn't try that apple. He finds they're down on the planet, they're gathering food. He thinks he's found good apples, and Neelix tells him it's poison, and it's a very, very funny description of what would have happened to him if he'd eaten it. And it's like, okay, stop. We're good. But up in the orbit, they see a ship, discover a ship. It's sort of cloaked, sort of not. And oh my goodness, it's one of those Kazon ships from way back in episode 1. And they emergency beam everybody out, but they can't find Seska. Chakotay stays back to find her, and they have to fight off some Kazon in a cave, and then they both get out of there and they're back to the ship. And it's like, holy cow! What are these Kazon guys doing here? And holy smokes! It seems that Seska and Chakotay at least were a thing, which is kind of cool, since I've kind of liked Seska so far in this series. She's a nice girl. Pity what happens to her in this one, huh? But yeah, it turns out that Kazon ship is sending out a distress signal now. So they're going over, and they find that holy smokes, the crew are melted into the deck, and something funky happened. Half of their bridge is swathed in this radiation cloud that's sealed behind a force field that was put up, and there's a device of some sort in the middle. And looking at its composition, they're like, hey, this looks like it's a Federation technology. How'd they get this? Because we're the only Federation ship here. What's going on? Is there a spy? What's going on? People immediately start thinking it's Seska because she vanished into the cave where the Kazon were, and it's like, they talk through Chakotay and Exo. Chakotay, and he is the Exo, and Tuvok, although he acts more like the Exo sometimes. And the captain about it, like, hey, well, we got to figure out what's going on here. It can't be Seska, can it? But we got to investigate. And so the manhunt is on. Who's the spy? Who sent the tech to the Kazon? And why? Right. So Exo Chakotay is not good at keeping a secret, and he lets her know that she's suspicious. Seska know that suspicions are on her, and she beams over to the ship. They're going to have a whole big, they have this great big plan to use a device to manipulate the radiation field out of the way so they can safely get to the whatever it is, get it beamed back. But no, she goes over on her own with a special personal field thing. Her initial discussion, because her initial plan that they had written off as being too risky. And okay, so she's over there, and yay, does she get it? Well, no, all she gets, well, darn near killed. So she just goes to 6 bay. But they did get the thing back. And turns out it is a replicator. And it's not like it's from some other Federation ship that came over there through that same portal complex that they were in before that they didn't know about. No, it's got the neural pathway computer systems that only Voyager has, so it had to come from Voyager. And so now it's like, okay, who did it? And the more caissons, they found one caisson guy who was alive. They rescued him as well. I forgot to mention that. And they're treating him, but can't get anything out of them. So it's another caisson ship comes by and say, hey, give us our dude. Well, we can't. Well, he's here in sick bay. They were sold it to you. And we can't give it to him yet until it's, safe to move him. And Doc confirms it's not safe to move him. But the caisson guys, they kill their dude who's in sick bay, and it's like, the hell off the ship, you jerks. Because hey, talk about a jerky thing to do. Now they had been trying to get donation people from the crew to donate blood to save this guy, and they found Doc found some guys, some crew members to save that guy, so he was going to survive if the case on dudes hadn't killed him. Which is annoying. Hey man, we gave you blood for no reason. But during this hunting for a blood donor thing, they've realized, hey, Seska, you never donated blood to your medical records. Like, oh, well, yeah, I'll get around to that. And, it seems a little weird about that. Meantime, though, suspicions falling on Lieutenant Carey because they found that there was a transmission from the case to the caisson ship while they're doing some maintenance a few weeks back, and it came from Carey's workstation. Of course, it's down in engineering. It's open to everybody, and anybody could go there and transmit from him. Doesn't well, just because it's his station doesn't mean that he did it. But same time, that he's confined to quarters, which that's sucky. But maybe he's the bad guy. He was a jerk at first. Maybe he's trying to undermine Balana, because, in fact, the captain kind of implies that, right? Um, hmm. Then the doc sees that, uh, manages to find some. Or after Seska's knocked out and up there being worked on. I jumped around a little bit. He gets some blood from her, runs it, and finds that she doesn't have any Bajoran blood markers in her blood at all. And furthermore, they think she's a Cardassian. Now we've seen in Deep Space Nine and TNG, people have been doing their whole uh, body modification surgery things to impersonate other races a lot. So this is not something new that wouldn't be true. And certainly the Cardassians are sneaky enough to do this. But this really sort of throws Chakotay off. He's looking around left and right, looking at Tuvok like, you were working for the captain. She was working for the Cardassians. Was anybody on my ship working for me? And I can relate, man. I mean, sheesh, that's sort of sucky. But as is, but it might not be right because she tells Chakotay, "Hey, I was not Cardassian. I had this disease, and I had to get a transfusion from bone marrow from a Cardassian donor. There's a nice lady who hooked me up." It's like, oh, okay. So they run a little trick. They each tell her and Carrie of deal of what's going on and what they know, and then they sit back and wait, and they see that somebody's logging in to the system, trying to cover tracks, trying to delete some data, and it was coming from Seska's terminal. So there's Seska's login. It's like, well, it couldn't be her. She wouldn't be stupid enough to use her own login. But then it turns out that they were fibbing to her. The doc, Hollow Doc, he knew that the disease thing that she was tried to play it off as was baloney because he, has a repository of all medical knowledge. And they managed to trace back the terminal that was doing all the shenanigans back to the one in sick bay, and they got her dead to rights. But holy cow, she's pretty awesome. Computer execute program Omicron or whatever it was, and transports her away off to the Kazon ship, who blasts out of there. And then 2 more Kazon ships come. There's too many of them to fight off at once, even though Voyager's a superior ship against one of them. It's like, damn it, she got away. Guess we'll see her again as a bad guy. Bum, bum, bum. Well, it's a pity because I liked Seska. I thought she was a fun secondary character, and yeah, didn't like seeing this heel turn from her just because I liked having her around. Thought she was cool. And when she puts her hair down, holy cow, she looks pretty good too. But so and that's part of the disappointment I had with the this episode. The other part of it was like the the red herring with Carrie wasn't much of a red herring at all. It's like, come on, man, look at that guy. He's 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 not turning heel. He's got a wife and kid at home, and he's like the two shoots dude. It's yeah, he was jerking the first time we saw him, but that's because he was defending what he thought should be his, and you had the uppity Balana who was kind of undermining him, who was undermining him. She was not in the right, and he reacted forcefully to that at first. But now that they decided she's in charge, he's been working hard, doing well, as he said in the captain's quarters. I don't think she has any reason to think I'm doing bad. I've been put it aside, and I'm doing my job. And you know, I never believed it could have been Carrie. Um, but I also didn't want to believe it's Seska when they first said it was Seska because it's like really, it's just because they're making her so suspicious, so obviously suspicious acting. It was like it's got to be somebody else. I know it wouldn't be that easy and simple and go us through this whole 30-minute rigmarole of who is it when it was so obviously her. But when Carrie was presented as the patsy, it was like, well, he's obviously a patsy. And it's like, oh, geez, I guess it is her, and that's disappointing from the mystery side of it. Disappointing, yeah, from the mystery because it's not a very good mystery, and disappointed because I liked having her around, and because holy smokes, she and Chakotay were a thing. That was hey, good for Chakotay, man. Um, and it's like and it was a good, interesting character stuff with him in this episode because it's like, oh, yeah, you see a softer side to him. Well, not that he was really a hard ass, but you see a romantic side to him. Same time, it's like, no, I can't. And of course, she's being a girl and trying to do the jealousy game. Well, I guess I'll just go after Harry Kim then. Yeah, right. I love Harry, but he's inept. Come on. But anyway, when it comes to women, anyway, seems like that. But no, it's like, yeah, obviously, they couldn't continue on as he's the XO, but now they're on a Federation ship. One thing with on the Maquis ship, and the normal military rules don't really apply. But now you're back in the military thing, and XO can't be, you know, messing around with one of the engineering guys or gals. And but at the same time, still kind of sucks. That said, dude, Chicote, learn to keep a secret, man. How how have you advanced to such a high position and rank? You were a commander in Starfleet before you went to join the Maquis, but you can't keep a secret. He straight up tells her that they're suspicious of her. Dude, that's not. I mean, if your intention is to flush the bait, then maybe you do that, but that wasn't his intention. He was just, Mr. Dummy Pants wannabe boyfriend guy who couldn't stand to have her in distress. Like, dude, killing, killing the operational security here, man. Come on. But, is what it is. But his frustration and about how nobody who worked for him seemed to actually be working for him is real and palpable, and you can totally sympathize. And his discussion with Tuvok at the end was great. It's like, just because, man, was I? He's just like, dude, was I a complete moron? Am I a complete idiot? How did I not see that nobody was who they were? And man, Tuvok is not very reassuring, but at the same time, in a way. And when he admits that he was fooled by Siska too, it's kind of funny. He admits he was fooled by Siska as well. And Chakotay is like, okay, well, I can feel better now. And he's like, huh, it's weird that my failure makes you feel better. It's like, well, hey, dude, a Vulcan boy, you've been around humans for a while. You got to figure out that that's how we work sometimes. But it was a good conversation between the two of them at the end. And And yeah, so that was cool. Janeway again was great in this one. The stern captain laying down the investigation law thing with Carrie was, you know, she was very stern, and that was well done. And the rest of it was good. Tuvok again was awesome, doing his security thing and doing his investigation thing, which was good. Let's see, didn't have much from Tom or Harry. Neelix had a couple funny moments, but that was just at the beginning. That was it. And then S was basically Doctor Helper, and Doctor didn't have much to do either. But so that's the main stuff that was going on. But I tell you, the other thing that annoyed me about this one, though, much as I liked the episode, except that at the very beginning, first thing, it's the Kazon. Dude, we saw those guys map in episode one, right? When we first came through. And since episode one, we've been beelining it back toward the Alpha Quadrant, right? Back toward the Federation. You know, Warp 6, go. And Warp 6, I mean, so, and this is episode 10, right? So they've been assuming that the real life, the real life, uh, the time frame in uh in the show proceeds in sync with the timeline of us actually seeing it, which probably not probably not a good the time frame isn't exactly, but even still, that's still, let's assume 2 to 3 months, right, is at least of them going, and they better be going at least warp 6. I mean, that's their maximum normal cruising speed, right? And I'm looking at memory alpha now, and that's 392 times the speed of light. 300, so yeah, 392.4980481 C. So in 24 hours, you're doing a light year. So 1.1 light years or so. So in 2.5 months, at least, 80 days, they've gone almost 100 light years. They've now reached about the edge of their distance that Neelix knew about, that they were the most capable ship in 100 light years, and pretty soon they'll be far. They'll be into uncharted territory. But also, why are the Kazon guys here? When we saw them in episode one, they were space capable, warp drive capable guys, but at the same time, they were also like scavenger, like seemed to be living on the, the ragged edge, right? Um, scavenging water, stealing from the Opaka as they could. They didn't seem to be exactly, you know, imperial, you know, big power dudes. So we're booking it that way. We're 100 light years away. Why the hell are these guys here? Frankly, we should never see them again. I mean, unless they're, I mean, I don't know how big unless they're like Romulan or Klingon or, Federation size organization with these dudes. Uh, uh, Seems unlikely we would. So why are they here? It doesn't make. If they're actually trying to get home and just booking, we should never see these dudes again. So, and now that Seska's with them, I guess we're going to see them again and again and again and again and bring Seska back. I mean, it's implied. It'd be cool to see her again because she's a cool character. But at the same time, yeah, I don't know, that doesn't make any sense. These Kazon dudes being involved. That said, the other thing that was the other thing that made no sense to me on this one was her whole motivation. Well, A, it seemed like the the writers sort of pulled something out of the hat. Hey, this would be cool. Let's just go with it. Because, up until this point, she had been, yeah, a little bit of a troublemaker from the Maquis side a bit. Now is, I think wasn't she the one who told Chakotay that she would be with him if he mutinied in the second episode? And but so not always on the straight and narrow, but in the end, team player, and all of a sudden now she's a spy. I mean, okay, I mean that's fine, but her motivation for sending the signal and giving them the replicator is utterly retarded. I mean, well, because she was like, we need to, I need to establish allies, establish a new power base. We're never getting home, so we're establishing a new power base here, and this is what we're gonna do. Then we're gonna make allies with these dudes and establish a power base and grow a new empire here. It's like, okay, honey, it's great that you think that, but you know that the captain and the rest of the crew aren't gonna go along with that. So what exactly did you think to accomplish? Because now, now you have no hope of getting back home. And these Kazon dudes probably aren't going to keep you around too long because what? Now you're kicked out of the Voyager. Yeah, you have all your technical knowledge, but it's like, how useful are you going to be to them in the long term? Her, I get that the contempt she has for Janeway's decision in the first episode. I think I mentioned that I didn't think it was a great an decision either, but given what it was, uh, it's gone from contempt to stupid. I mean, you give up some chance of getting back to having no chance of getting back. Of course, I guess she's kind of thinking, I'm not getting back no matter what. Screw it. But who are you making the Empire your base of power imperial thing for? Just you? I mean, okay, so you can do better, live better. I guess that works, but that's kind of a Cardassian way to think. But I mean, if it's just you alone, you better, you better be one heck of a organizer and leader and intimidator and everything else, or your little clutching at power things not going to last so long and work so long. I don't know. I think it would have been a better play for her to not do this and try to find something else to. But yeah, oh well. She's a girl. Strategic thinking, emotional thinking only, I guess. But not even that. I mean, it's like anyway. I joke, but um. So that, of course, that brings up the when the captain rescues the injured Kason, he's like, "Oh, we can make a friend by making him helping him out." And the other Kason will see we're good, that we're good guys, and we'll make friends. That'll be great. And it's like, well, that's the same issue I have with Seska's idea is you should never be seeing these guys again. So, okay, cool, you did a good thing, made a friend, but so what? You shouldn't see them again because you should be going warp 6 at least that way forever. And anyway, so that's the episode. I dug it, even though I had some quibbles about it. Not a very satisfying mystery, but still kind of fun in that sense. Next one is Heroes and Demons, which is a lot of fun, and we'll talk about that coming up here shortly. So, yeah. Anywho, as I have told you many times here before, and you have not forgotten, I do write books, write fiction for fun and profit. Over here at michaelkingswood.com/store, you can get all of my various books directly from me without having to pay the middleman. But, it could be worse. You could like to go over to Amazon and Barnes & Noble and Kobo and all the rest. So come over here to michaelkingswood.com/books to read the number 2, and you can click on a title and go to the store you want and, check it out that way. You can check out some of my writings for free over at Substack, Michael Kingswood. Substack.michaelkingswood.com. You can read a few stories there. You can also listen to me read stories here on my site. We do that on Saturdays, Story Saturday. Haven't been doing it as much lately just because of other things have been going on. But, you know, you can listen to a story, read a story over on Substack, see if it catches your fancy, and then go buy a book or two. Hey, that'd be great. Or, subscribe, like, and share, and come back for the next one. Um, Either way, thanks for sticking around here. I will hope to see you on the next time. Until then, don't do anything I wouldn't do.